Hi, everyone. You know, for years I've heard words associated with earth religions thrown around and praised. Words and phrases such as light, Wicca, shadows, witchcraft, and so on. So let's get down to the nitty gritty about what a few of these things are and what they're not. Today, I'd like to explore a specific name that is my religion, Wicca, and a specific phrase that my religion's associated text, the Book of Lights. The matter of witchcraft and the Book of Shadows we will save for another day, okay? I prefer to think that all religions started out having reverence for the natural world in some way, and I believe that my worship within Wicca facilitates my belief that the world and all of its animals, plants, and insects are intelligent and have a soul. My religion assists me in giving reverence to everything and everyone. It is unfortunate that the four-leggeds and the plants must be consumed for my survival, but we will go the way of all things, you know? Wicca is a modern, pagan, syncretic nature religion. There is no central authority figure, and its core beliefs and practices vary among its many traditions. Do what thou wilt and harm none is a primary core belief. That harm none, it includes not harming yourself, you know. Wicca assists me in giving thanks to the life that I must consume via ritual and prayer. I mean, I give ritual and prayer and thanks for the life that I consume, okay? Modern Wicca, like any other religion, has a set of beliefs, practices, laws, rituals, holidays, and traditions that guide followers in their daily lives. I like to believe that modern Wicca was not conceived in a vacuum, but out of thousands of years of unattributed, pre-written oral history, much of which was lost to the European witch trials. In the modern age came the need to compile information on paper and other media so as not to lose the way again. You know? Not everyone who worships within the Wiccan framework believes that Wicca is a nature religion. Wicca is typically duotheistic, worshiping a goddess and a god, but can also be expressed as polytheism, pantheism, monotheism, and goddess monotheism. I practice solitary goddess monotheism at this time. I worship only a goddess. Modern Wicca has texts. They are changed, of course, by the particular person or group that is using them, but that's the way it goes. Wicca has many branches. Sex Wicca is a little different from Alexandrian or Gardnerian or Minoan or Fairy or Viking, etc., etc. And they pretty much stay rigid within their own systems, you know. There are some rituals that remain the same within the whole of Wicca, such as forming a circle, or erecting an altar, or a sacred space, although they will not be the same from person to person, nor necessarily from time to time for an individual. I mean, things change, you know? The Wiccan book, the Book of Lights, is a book of rituals. The genealogy of initiation works from the coven, everything like that. Every coven's Book of Lights is different. Considering this, you can understand why no two covens have the same Book of Lights. Therefore, there's no real standard book. But since most of the covens follow the Gardnerian book format, there are similarities between each. In a way, this is good because people from different groups can worship together and find comfort in knowing and understanding rituals, such as creating a circle. It appears that today there is an argument online that the circle isn't necessary. Actually, this has been going on for quite some time. I believe it is necessary in that it creates a sacred space where there was none before. Therefore, there isn't a need for a particular building to worship inside of. Anywhere can be your church, you know. The circle is also a place to focus the energy that is created by those who participate. I believe that if the circle is eliminated, the power of the people will dissipate and not produce results. But maybe my need for a circle is only that, my need and my role, you know. Even so, it is prescribed and should be learned and used until you feel that you don't need it, and so that you know it when you're working with people from other traditions. To this day, I sometimes use a formal circle, and others I don't. It depends upon what I'm doing. If it's a spell, then yes, the circle is necessary. If it's a prayer, then no, a circle isn't necessary. I have a short story for you. I was at a circle in Manhattan in New York City in the 70s. It was a small apartment in the summertime. There were about a dozen of us, summertime. The circle was formed in the living room, and after a while it became very hot. It was a small living room, it's a small apartment. It was crowded in that tiny little room, okay? The thing is that the air conditioner was working, and it was very cool when we first got there. In fact, I remember it being downright cold, you know. At any rate, I was attributing the heat to the many bodies and the dancing we were doing while opening the circle. So after a few "it's hot in here" remarks, the priestess cut a hole in the circle around the shape of the air conditioner. Immediately, the room got cooler. It was like there had been a wall in front of the air conditioner that blocked the air, and she had cut a hole in the wall to let the cool air into the circle. I was astonished, surprised, mystified, and a whole bunch of other things like that. How could a woman waving her 𝗱𝗲𝗄𝗡 in the air cut a hole in an imaginary circle that actually produced results of cold air? That circle is a primary memory that I still wonder over today. It was magical. I kept records of the circles, prayers, and dates. I also kept records of initiations, of who attended, who led the circle, and other important information. When I saw results of our magic, it was entered into the Book of Lights with the dates. Don't forget the dates, okay? The dates indicate your progress. And if you forget to put them down, you will forget it when it happened. You will forget when it happened. You know how things are. I know. I'm 80 years old. I've forgotten a lot, okay? That is how I made my books. You should do the same thing starting today to keep your Book of Lights for yourself as a method of reminding you and giving you confirmation of the progress. And for your coven, if you have one, take pictures, videos, or anything that you considered record keeping and use that as your Book of Lights. And so, welcome to my video series on Wicca and witchcraft. I'm Raven Crone, and I am truly excited to be your guide on this journey. The next video will cover the foundations of witchcraft. Join me on Patreon for sharing and discussions. This is a great place to connect with other students and ask questions. I'll also be hosting a monthly live stream discussions. And in the future, I will hold holiday circles on Patreon. Finally, you can find me on Facebook under my name, Raven Crone, and under the Book of Shadows and Lights. Please join me in these conversations. Blessed be you and all your works. So mote it be, and so it is.